Hi, my name is Scott Follick. I'm here from the Energy Authority, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about SIEM with Sumo in 7 clicks. So again, my name is Scott Follick. I'm the IT Director for Service Delivery and Support. I've spent 13 years with the Energy Authority. Prior to TEA, I worked with CSX Railroad, some of the local hospitals, and some other Fortune 500 companies across the US. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about who the Energy Authority is, how we do things, why Sumo, and what have we learned? So who is TEA? TEA is the strategic partner of choice in providing energy solutions to public power. We are owned and directed by public power members who participate in our organization's decision making. The Energy Authority provides public power utilities with access to advanced resources and various technology systems across the US. Right. So when we think of energy, we think of the electric grid. However, it is much more than that. Sorry, I need to move this my camera's in the way here, sorry. When we're at home, we all flip the switch and the lights just magically come on. That's what we all think. However, it is much more than that. There's power plants, there's hydro optimization, there's wind and solar farms. All of these things make up the energy markets across the US. And TEA participates in 7 of those energy markets across the US. So part of our agenda today is how we do things. Right? We are in a 24/7 shop who operates with a very small IT staff that's heavily invested in various technologies. 225 employees across the country, business partners all across the US. They too are 24/7, 365. And all of this is important because everyone wants to keep their lights on, their air conditioner, their heaters running. Nobody wants any of these things to turn off. We invest in technologies, OpenDNS, Cisco, Mimecast, Microsoft products across their various platforms. Right? And we do things, we take complex systems and we try and give them a very simple approach. We use a cloud-first strategy. And what does that really mean? The cloud is not a place. It is not just virtualization. It is not an island. Everything has to be built from the bottom up. In our ideal situation, whatever tool we're looking at, we like it to be able to do what it needs to do in 7 to 10 clicks and have automation. Automation is key for us. So as we began our journey into SIEM, we looked at Gartner. We talked to fellow IT professionals. We looked at trusted vendors. And of course, we did many proof of concepts. The first thing we looked at was SOC as a service. Many managed service providers out there, hybrid operations, on-premise, and cloud. Managed service providers proved to be very expensive. They gave us limited visibility into their dashboards. We learned they had high turnover. For every 4 analysts that were hired, 3 turned over within the first year, usually due to alert fatigue or information overload. And then they all have threat intelligence that is gathered from a number of free sources. These same sources are where the threat actors go to get their data. Then we looked at the on-premise solutions, and on-premise solutions came with their own hidden costs. There's hidden infrastructure costs. There's storage costs. When you ingest 50 gigabytes of logs a day, that comes out to 1.5 terabytes per month, 18 terabytes a year. Where do I put this data? Does it go on my premium storage? If it doesn't go on my premium storage, it's going into my lower tiered storage. How long? That means I'm doing log shipping. Can those logs still be correlated? How do we account for all of this? Along with backups, upgrades, licensing, and automation. With the monthly upgrades, who does these? And if I don't do them monthly, does that mean I don't get the new rule sets? For me, that would mean the same team that is handling the other 1,600 servers in my environment have to add one more thing to their plate. The threat actors don't stop creating new rules each month. They don't stop creating them every day. Who's going to take care of this? And then the backups. Who backs up the data? Do I back up the virtual machines? How do I restore from backup? How do I deal with all of these things? Licensing. This is one of my favorites. Is it CapEx? Is it OpEx? Did I buy the license? Am I leasing the license? Am I rate limited to the number of messages per second? What happens when I go over? That's right. You just buy them in increments of another 500 messages per second. Automation. Well, they have some automation. Some of it's mine. Some of it's theirs. Maybe. Can I use it in the languages I want to use it in? Sometimes. And then we learned cloud. Not all cloud SIEMs are created the same. Automated response does not always mean no human interaction. And if you want no human interaction, that requires another tool set. Maybe, because it still requires me to click a button. Many of them we learned are one-trick ponies. They're great at log correlation, and that is all they do. Licensing is based on the number of devices, which limits the amount of data. Threat intelligence is also homegrown or taken from free resources. Same free resources the threat actors are going to use. Then we get to why do we choose Sumo? It started with the clicks, the CrowdStrike threat intelligence, the automated response, the flexible licensing, and it's more than just SIEM. Starting with the clicks, single sign-on, one click. Into the insights, one click. Onto the signals dashboard, single click. After that, we can get right into the raw logs. So 4 clicks and I can see where my threat actor is, what's going on, where the smoking gun is, what my problems are, and how do I move forward. Threat intelligence comes from all over. How many attacks? Where are they coming from? Along with which device? Being like every other shop, it is possible we haven't updated a particular firewall and edge device that a threat actor is trying to take advantage of. We can quickly drill down into one of the many graphs with a single click and find out what's going on the raw logs. It doesn't take long. It's seconds instead of minutes for us to get to where we need to be and make a decision. Moving on to automated response. As we prepare to enter this testing phase now, we want our scripts to do certain things. We want it to parse the logs for locations, reset the user's password, disable the account, disable the local NIC, find on the command and control workstation, and build a firewall rule. Then alert IT. Sumo can do this for us. And it can do this automated, which means no human interaction. And it can take our script and do this. Our goals: watch for encrypted files, Superman attacks, things like that. In our organization, when we have these type of attacks, we want to defend first. We want to put that shield out first, and then we'll take the stab with the sword. By using tools like Sumo for this, we're expecting to be able to eliminate other tools in our environment that we use for FIM or FAM. And you'll also notice the goal here is take action first, then alert IT. Licensing. They've made the licensing simple. It's a credit model. It's based on storage allocation. It's a tiered model. How quickly do we want to ingest the logs and how long do we want to keep them? It's not based on events per second, user count, devices. I don't have to figure out any of this stuff. I just have to say, this is how much storage we're going to need, and off we go. Right? But Sumo is much more than just SIEM. It can do many different things. It can take in all the dashboards from Varonis, Admin Droids, PowerShell, SharePoint Online, what top sites are being used, et cetera, everything in our Azure, everything in our O365, our email, our Mimecast. Our next phase will be DevOps. With Sumo, we needed to first find a SIEM solution, and we knew once we had a platform that would work for us, the developers would be right behind us. We're also already seeing interest by our DBA teams to monitor Mongo and SQL. And of course, K8s or Kubernetes. Sumo has it built in. Thank you for your time. My name is Scott Follick. If you want to connect with me, please look me up on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn address is right here.